Hi, this video will demonstrate how any tool can be brought to action a Keptn task. You will see how to trigger a third-party tool synchronously or asynchronously. In this video, we will trigger a Jenkins pipeline, but any tool works the same way. If you aren't familiar with the life cycle of a Keptn task, I have a video on that topic. The link is below. I suggest watching that first before continuing with this video. So we left the previous video running a sequence, but the deployment task never finished and the sequence was hung. That's because we hadn't brought a tool to action the deployment task, so Keptn couldn't finish the sequence. Keptn comes out of the box with a microservice called the Webhook integration. As the name suggests, it means you can listen for Keptn events and trigger REST API calls to any third-party system. Think curl built into Keptn. So in Keptn, go to the settings page and click on the integrations button. Choose the Webhook service and you should only see the add subscription button here. I'm going to edit my existing subscription. This is where you tie the Webhook service or the Webhook integration to the task that you want to listen for. In this case, I'm going to choose the deployment triggered event. And now I'm going to build up my curl request. Here you can see I'm doing a post to the normal Jenkins endpoint. Now at the bottom, you see two choices for the started and the finished event. Here I'm in the asynchronous mode. What this means is as soon as the Webhook service hears the triggered event, it will immediately send the started and finished event for me. This means Jenkins will be triggered asynchronously and we won't wait for the result. So we'll trigger another sequence. And notice the sequence has already finished. So if we have a look at the started and finished events, you can see the Webhook service has pretty much instantly started and finished, whereas the Jenkins job itself is still running. So that's the asynchronous nature of the Webhook service sending the started and finished event. What we'll do now is change to the synchronous method. So what we need to do is add some parameters to our build. Now these parameters are what Jenkins will use to send back the finished event. We're still doing our normal echo and our sleep hour workload, but you can see I've already stored the Keptn API token as a secret, and then I'm building up the cloud event that we send back to the API v1 event endpoint, and that is the payload. So those fields you see there, the parameters, are sent in when we trigger the Jenkins job. And the two fields at the bottom there, the status and the result, influence the Keptn task. So in that way, if your Jenkins job fails, you can send back failed in the result column, and that will fail the task. So back into Keptn, we need to make two more changes, which are we need to send the parameters that Jenkins will need. So we change that to build with parameters, and we pass the parameters. And the final thing we need to do is delegate the finished event to Jenkins, to the receiver of this webhook. So again, we trigger a sequence, and this time what we see is the deployment running, and it is actually still running. You can see the webhook service has started, but it's actually waiting for Jenkins to finish. So there's the Jenkins job running. As soon as Jenkins finishes, it signals back to Keptn that it is finished. I hope you found this useful. Thanks for watching.